it's weird to me, as a pro hunter all my life, that's really all I've ever done.
Gotcha.
It's very weird to me. You're killing him with crumpling the paper. That's so awesome. Go crumple it right by the microphone. That'd be great.
Why don't you just ruin the scare, too?
And that a haunted house reflects its owner. That is good. When you go through Netherworld, you know what's important to Ben Armstrong. When you go through the darkness, you know what's important to Larry Kirshner. By going through, here's what I think my issue is with that. Because it deeply bothers me.
I can tell.
It deeply bothers me because, I'm gonna grab a stool.
Sure.
It deeply, I've literally dedicated my life to. It's all that I do.
Totally get where you're coming from. You feel like I'm not purposely trying to insult your craft or anything like that at all. It's like a band, right? You have some bands that are like, you know what, we're only going to play small clubs because we don't want the big venues. And if they're a good band, people are like, why? You could make this and you could do this, but to some bands, it's not about making this and doing this.
So I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
You are headed down the road of saying you flick off the camera to limit your audience.
So here's my honest opinion. The public is not dumb, right? It's my opinion, right? The public's not dumb. I've been in sales and marketing for a long time. The public doesn't know what they want. They just don't, right? We live in a society now where everybody's Yelpers and they feel like they can just, say whatever. And then a lot of industries, it doesn't matter if you're buying the widgets or a service, a lot of people kowtow, right? Now, I've got a regular job that pays the bill, so the great thing for me, right? Again, my objective certainly isn't to negatively affect the haunt industry as a whole, and I totally see where you're coming from. Some people could see, like my shtick and think, okay, haunters or, okay, I can see it for somebody.
You don't take my craft seriously.
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree. It's the entertainment industry, right? And the great thing about that...
No, it is the haunted house industry. I don't necessarily think that they're the same thing. I don't think that actors should give up and make people laugh in the haunted house. They should try to scare them first.
Gotcha.
So I don't like saying that, because the cop-out, if you can't scare people, is, oh, I entertained them.
I gotcha.
That's the cop-out. That's easier.
Monet, Pollock, and Picasso.
Okay.
All artists. Very, very, very different styles.
Absolutely. Which is why I said earlier, I like that there's different haunters that have different styles.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard to see.
I totally get you. Like Pollock, I don't get it.
And I enjoy going through your show. But I hate seeing you give me the middle finger. I'm like, what did I do to Dan?
Honestly, from my heart, my objective, never once have I ever sat down and said, how do I take a crap on this industry, right? That certainly has never been something that popped in my head. Do I take a different approach? Probably. No, I know for a fact because this is a hobby that's turned into something bigger, and I I have a hard time trying to. The more regimented, you know, I make it. Not that it, you know, not that it's not going to as time progresses. Then the more like work it feels to me. You know, and from an artist perspective, just in the grand scheme of things, it's no different than a poet or a painter or a singer. You have lots of different, I mean, some people like Yoko Ono. Some people literally buy her CDs. There's somebody downloading a Yoko Ono song on iTunes right now. I am the Yoko Ono of the haunt industry. I can't believe I just said that.
No,
right?
I think Russ McCamey is the Yoko Ono of the haunt
Yes.
industry.
Well,
I think Russ McCamey is, and I think he's comfortable in that position.
Right.
We all had lunch together today, and there were two ends of the table.
Right.
One of the conversations on our end of the table, which you almost touched on there, was a lot of people do haunted houses as a hobby. I would say 98% of people do haunted houses as a hobby.
I do not disagree.
Whether as an actor, whether as even a vendor.
Right.
Most vendors are hobby
Right.
businesses.
They still have
They're not
regular
full time. They have regular jobs. Haunters, haunt owners, they have another job. Can you imagine someone talking to a plumber and they say, "Oh man, I love to plumb toilets in my spare time. That is a blast. I really love doing that. It's a great hobby."
Well, it's like people who make beer. You know, Sam Adams started with a guy who made beer in his bathtub.
Yes. And then he, you know,
Well, that
You
turned
didn't
into...
turn around and flip off the camera and say I'm only making 6 cans of beer a day.
Well, that's because they didn't have Wi-Fi back then.
it's interesting to me.
I completely understand where
It's
you're
just
coming
weird
from.
to me. I've never not monetized it.
I gotcha.
You know, I've never not monetized it.
Yeah,
That's just what I've always done.
I do. It's important for me to tell you that never in a million years have I ever purposely said, "Hey, how do I upset people?"
Right.
That said,
I gotcha.
the reason why I will not sell shirts or hats or tchotchkes, and when people ask, I'll say, "Yeah, it's like $750 for a shirt," and they go, "Okay, how much?" $850 for a shirt, because the only way to get a DH8 shirt is to actually work in the Haunted House, right? I want it to be a thing like, you know what, I have this, and I have this because I actually was out there sweating and doing it. For me, it's more of like a, hey, this is cool. Not everybody can have it type of deal. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So yeah, I guess that's the best way that I guess that's the best way I can answer that. If I didn't respect this, then I certainly wouldn't, you know, have any, because you and I both know there's a lot of haunters that just throw stuff up. They have no insurance. They'll bring 14, 15-year-old kids in there, and then it's an absolute. I mean, I don't consider I'm definitely a business guy, so on the business side, that stuff is locked in tight, right? But on the fun side, and out of, you know, this is my fun. You know what I'm saying?
So here's a super unpopular sentence for me to say
Fantastic.
for the whole haunt world. In the state of Texas, you need a license to be a dentist.
Right.
You need a license to cut hair for a living.
Yeah, I got you. But anybody
You do not need a license to do a haunted house.
nor to be a
Almost
roofing contractor.
anybody can do
Right.
a haunted house.
I got you.
Where you're building a maze in the dark
Yep.
that's confusing for people to get out of.
Yep.
You're putting teenage boys in there waiting for teenage girls to come through.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of danger to that, and it's just so weird. So that's,
Well,
I'm not picking on you.
no. Actually, this is great. This is a long time.
I
coming.
have been battling for this industry to be legitimate my entire life.
Totally get where you're
So
coming
then I see a haunter that I respect who is doing unique things like having a Japanese themed show, and who's doing really unique things like the catchy jingle that you have that I've never heard anything like that for haunt anywhere
And I'm
else.
flipping off the camera.
And then you're flicking off the camera.
Well, the great thing is the whole
Whereas
crew is
you
flicking off the
you
camera.
could have taken the industry to this.
I got you. I
And-
got you.
So
and you're doing cool stuff, but you're keeping it here, man.
Well, and that's certainly an opinion, right? But that I respect. But look at it from my side. So being in sales and marketing as my profession, if you have 10 umbrella, now if I did a cookie cutter haunt where I took the exact same thing from everybody else and still did the same thing that I'm doing with the weird goofiness, then that makes me just an absolute knucklehead jerk, and I could see where the respect goes there, right? But from a marketing standpoint, so when I started, right, I wrote down all these different haunt names, you know, and I'm a spreadsheet guy. So I created a spreadsheet of every single haunt that was within, you know, 100 miles in North Texas, and I slid every single one of those names in there, and they just melted in, you know? Dan's Haunted House. Now, there's a very funny, story about how the name came to be, and it certainly wasn't just me saying, "Hey, I'm going to call it Dan's Haunted House," but that name stuck out, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you have
Great name.
Then I appreciate it. Then you have the Japanese theme, right? Then you had the weird, goofy videos and the goofy jingle. What do? We are an industry of misdirection. Look over here because I'm going to hit you from here. Now, from a sales and marketing standpoint, right? Why do we know the car commercial with the Corinthian leather? Because it stood out, Corinthian leather, right? Otherwise, it'd be just like every other car. You follow where I'm coming from?
I'm listening to you, yes.
And we live in a society right now, this is just my opinion, you'll never please everybody all the time, you just won't, right? It's impossible. But we do live in a society now where people are keyboard bullies and this and that, and I'm going to give this a better review, blah, 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 before you even get a chance to prove yourself. So early on for me, I was like, we're just going to do this. We're going to have fun. We're putting blinders on. Bam. Not because my intent is to do any harm to any individual haunt and or industry at all. I'm actually glad that we're having this conversation. I never really thought about it from your perspective, but from where I sit, I want to be noticed. You know what I mean? And I want to do it my way. Because again, I can't stress this enough. Customers are never right. They don't know what they want. They don't. If they know what they wanted, we would have the same type of soda, the same type of car, the same type of house. People have to go out there and try new things, and people go, like music or movies or whatever.
Is it that they don't know what they want, or that people want different things?
Both. People don't know what they want, number one, and that's the vast majority of people. And otherwise, everybody make a decision in the blink of an eye, right? People choose. That little hesitation, they don't know exactly what they want.
I do make decisions in the blink of an eye.
You're the 1%.
I'm decisive. I don't waffle. Even a wrong decision, I'll just make that decision and then move on from there. One of the reasons why I'm good at what I do is I don't spend 30 minutes thinking about it.
Gotcha.
I just get it done.
Well, so there, I have gone through this thought process from, okay, let's really consider what the customers think, and let's focus solely on that. I feel if I did that,
I don't think that you should.
No, I get you, but I think that if I did that, the crew wouldn't have fun. And the most important people to me are the crew. Even if nobody comes out to the show, if the crew's having a good time, that is what my goal is, right? Because if the crew's having a good time, they're going to put on a great show, or as good a show as they possibly can. Now, I know from where you
That's
stand.
not necessarily true. Your crew could have a good time murdering goats.
Well, that is a great point.
Doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to make a good haunted house.
Well, if it's about murdering goats, if it was a goat murder haunted house, which that would be almost every Texas haunted house out there.
Would it? You know what Dan's haunted house is to me? You know in Pinocchio, where they go to that island and the little boys get turned into donkeys? That is Dan's haunted house.
That sounds about right.
Woo, crazy, wild, fun time! Oh crap, I'm a donkey.
Say what you will. When I was there, we took the show.
Yeah,
very
so
seriously.
we take we take the show.
We're not just
we take the show very
I
seriously.
know, but I want to make sure that is said, because we took it very seriously.
Now let's be real. There's one photo that I can think of where we're flipping off the camera, and that's when we're with Father Evil, and that was at Texas Frightmare 2 or 3 years ago.
Ed Steele.
Ed Steele took it. It was a beautiful photo. Now,
except for all those middle fingers.
I never posted that. I never posted that on Dan's Haunted House page or the Twitter feed. That was posted by myself and by Rob and individuals, but it was actually never publicly posted on our homepage, to my knowledge.
If I run over someone with the Dark Hour van, it doesn't matter if I post it on Facebook or not.
I gotcha.
You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
I like that you do things with your own flavor.
Right.
You know.
Oh, I appreciate that.
But if you're pickle flavor, and I don't like pickles, it's going to be a little weird.
I got you.
You know.
I totally got you. But I do want to let you know that again, at the risk of continue to repeat what I said many times, I have no intent to discredit the industry that you've basically been in forever and how you make
It's
money.
not my industry.
I got
you know what I mean? I'm a small, tiny part of it, you know? I'm not protective of all haunted houses. I actually think you're doing a lot of great stuff. But it does
that one picture?
But it does hurt my heart when you give the finger to everybody.
But that was one picture.
Like, all these people are cool.
But
they said F you to me.
That was one picture out of hundreds, thousands of pictures and hours and hours of really creative, awesome, video that we've done, right? Would you not agree? Now, if that were a recurring theme to the public, then I can see where you're coming from. But yeah, I mean, I will probably have to agree to disagree.
When it happens on the internet, sometimes it's there forever. So when you search Dan's haunted house, that picture pops up.
Oh, cool.
That's the one that pops up quite a bit.
No kidding.
So yeah, but it's an
That's
irreverent
awesome.
thing. It's a Johnny Cash thing. It's
We have Johnny Cash.
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to really look at that picture. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, I love that picture. I mean,
I know.
that's us saying, you know what, we're doing this for us.
But it's not just with Father either.
But that's not what that means.
To me, it is.